Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from Skiessentials.com.
I'm Bob. How's it going?
Welcome to our weekly Top 5 Friday ski industry news videos. Bob, welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Pretty sure you were gone last week.
I was doing something.
Well, we got you back. And feels like a pretty quick week for news. I suppose that makes sense because we're in the middle of June.
Yep.
There's not a ton of skiing going on right now.
No, not around here.
Although, quick note, I will be going skiing next week.
We'll have to have a guy to report from the field.
Yeah, I plan on doing something. Next week I'll be in Mount Hood skiing some stuff with Fisher skis. So if you're in Mount Hood, keep an eye out for me and the guys with Fisher and say hi. And then I'll try and bring back something that I can share in next week's Top 5 Fridays video. And you may see a video from out there while I'm out there, dependent on kind of what Fisher allows me to show. So
sounds good.
We will wait and see. But yeah, it'll be fun to get on snow.
I would like to go skiing, but I don't really feel like putting my feet in ski boots right now.
Yeah, that's gonna be the tricky part.
I've just gotten used to flip-flops.
All the bones in my feet have spread out again. So we'll see what it feels like to put them back in a 98 last ski boot.
No, my shoes are starting to feel small.
Yep.
It's strange.
I don't know if any of you guys have that phenomenon too, but my feet change shape significantly depending on the time of year. Anyways, with all that said, I think we can get straight into the news. Feels like we get ski racing news all through the year, even through the summer, especially this year with all the changes. So last year we talked about Johan Eliasch getting the FIS President position, and today we have a kind of a summary of his first 10 days from actually the FIS website. We're not going to cover all of it. In fact, we're not even really going to get into many specifics or details. So if you're interested in his first 10 days, head on over to that. The link is in the description, as it always is. We thought it was interesting to just call out that he did emphasize that his primary goal for this first year is getting ready for the Olympics, which makes sense.
Yep.
So,
it's a big event.
It's a big event. So not terribly surprising there, but it's kind of cool to get some opinions or some plans straight from him. So pretty cool. And then the Jeff Shiffrin Athlete Resiliency Fund is kind of entering its next phase. So we've talked about this quite a bit over the past year. Michaela kind of started this foundation primarily to help athletes with the additional costs of COVID. Just kind of more stuff that they had to deal with.
Yeah.
Notably, like most of the races were all in Europe, so it was kind of expensive for them to stay over there.
Yeah.
Now, with COVID mostly behind us in North America, at least, the foundation's kind of refocusing, and they will be raising money for athletes who specifically need help with training or travel costs. So this past year, they gave, I think it was $1,300 to every athlete on the U.S. ski and snowboard team. It sounds like going forward they'll probably be more selective.
Yeah.
In let's go Colby Stevenson, who's won the X Games a bunch of times and probably is doing okay on his travel expenses, probably won't receive funds from this. That's at least how I take it.
Yeah.
And they're hoping to raise $250K with another $125,000 from an anonymous donor. They did raise like $3 million this past year, so a smaller goal, but it sounds like they have more specific goals, and it's just cool to see the foundation continue in a positive way.
And I know those athletes that don't get the total full ride, that's hard for them to maintain their training and live their lives. So it's
absolutely. Yeah. It's something that I feel like it keeps coming up in Top 5 Fridays is just the challenges of being one of those, not lower level, but second tier.
Yeah, like
ski
the
racers.
D-team athletes.
Right. It's like being a minor league baseball player.
Sure.
You're not making that much money.
Yeah.
So help them kind of make ends meet, which I think is great. So kudos to all involved with that. And then kind of we specified that the pandemic is slowing down in North America, specifically because of this second topic, it's kind of marching right along in Australia, although it is slowing down. But the state of Victoria has just announced new regulations requiring guests to ski resorts from the greater Melbourne area to produce a negative COVID test, I think within a 72-hour window prior to their arrival.
Yep.
And the biggest challenge in this situation is they kind of just dropped it on ski resorts. You know, it is tough to like give people warning of stuff like this, but you know, we talked about similar things with Colorado and how restrictions kind of like change rapidly and they had to adapt really quickly. So that's challenging for ski resorts. On the bright side, like I said, the situation is slowing down. The pandemic is improving over in Australia, so it does look like at this point that those requirements won't last the full season. But a good reminder that we're not completely through it.
No, and they had to deal with it like firsthand last summer too,
Right.
which was like
Right.
that's kind of where we got our model for how to run ski resorts during the pandemic here this past year. So they were, you know, really on the front lines last year, and it's just unfortunate that they have to deal with this in season 2, basically. And then hard for
season 2.
Yeah.
Like an HBO series.
But then they, you know, it's just hard for those people that like made those plans to go, and now they have to abide by a new rule, which, you know, it's got to be done, you know, if they want to keep the season going.
Yep, I feel like that's what the last year and a half has been about, you know, just adapting.
Yeah.
Which the whole world has had to do in various ways, so it almost feels silly to like talk about the struggles of skiing.
Right.
That's what we do here at Top 5. So definitely something that we'll keep an eye on. And if you're in Australia and you're skiing, let us know what it's like. Always really good to hear straight from you guys that are experiencing it firsthand. Second topic of the week, Vail CEO Rob Katz has pledged to donate $29.3 million to support specifically racial justice and mental health initiatives, which I think is great.
Yep.
So basically the way this works is he has a stock appreciation right through 2022. So he will be exercising that right and selling 91,661 shares of Vail Resorts and donating them entirely to the Katz Amsterdam Foundation, which is the foundation that was formed by him and his wife, Elena. And just a quick stat, they have collectively donated $150 million to that foundation since its start.
Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, Rob Katz does great things with his money.
Yep.
You know, I feel like there's varying opinions out there about just like ski area consolidation. I know there are a substantial amount of people that have a unfavorable opinion of Vail Resorts, but I think it's pretty hard to have an unfavorable opinion of Rob Katz. I think he does a pretty good job, and he's extremely philanthropic.
Yeah.
Philanthropic. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Might as well. You know, it's like you get that bonus and you're just kind of passing it along.
I mean, he has the right to keep all of that
right
for himself.
Yeah.
He does not need to give it all away. And he specifically said that he will be keeping 0 shares for himself. I also just like that number of shares.
That's a good number.
I'd take 91,000 shares of Vail Resorts. That sounds great. And then the fourth topic of the week, this one was really interesting. And Bob, I know you had some time to read through this article. We have a story from The New Yorker on China and how they're specifically trying to grow the ski industry ahead of the 2022 Olympics. This is something that we've looked at before, but more in like snapshots of things that like developments, you know, it's different ski resorts in China and stuff like that. But yeah, Bob, what did you think of this story?
Well, fortunately, I had one free article left in my New Yorker before I hit the paywall.
There is a paywall, so you may run into that.
I did get to read most of it. It's pretty lengthy, but it's just so it's so interesting reading about skiing in another culture, especially one as vastly different as found in China.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but think back to like the Pyongyang Olympics, and I just remember like they built the ski area for the Olympics.
Right.
They like said, okay, here's our mountain, and we're gonna mow this trail, and that's the downhill course, and we're gonna mow this trail, and that's the giant slalom course, and then we're gonna build this resort at the bottom. So they kind of do things a little bit backwards than we do them here, especially in like our quaint little village of Stowe, where there was a town first, and then skiing became popular, and then everything grew from there. So like this place in China, did start in kind of like that mining tradition, like that's found in Colorado. But this guy basically built this like really challenging ski area because he was an accomplished skier, and basically neglected all the beginners that you need to grow.
And this article is written from the perspective of a beginner skier.
Of a beginner American skier.
A beginner American skier who was raised in a family of skiers and is like the sole non-skier. So it comes from a position of ski knowledge, but no actual ski experience. And
like this quaint village in China has like 30,000 people in it. Like it's it's a big town.
It's like Burlington.
And so it's just interesting to read how they go about trying to attract these skiers. And China obviously has the power and capability to be like, okay, we're going to put 30 million people on the slopes this weekend, and they just have them go skiing. And then disaster ensues because
no one knows how to ski.
No one knows how to ski. It's a gravity-fed sport, and they just let you go to the top. So it's just all these kind of, funny little anecdotes. I'm talking about how the quality of ski instructors are actually pretty good over there. Like that's one thing that they have, that they are able to get these good instructors. But it's just it's a very entertaining article. It is on the lengthy end, but gives you a really good insight into the sport of skiing in China, which it's a big country. There's a lot of people, a lot of mountains. There's no reason why it couldn't be a successful sport.
Right, and the society in China is kind of like moving in the direction where they would adopt a sport like that, I think, and have it become pretty popular. I thought just like the way that they described how chaotic it was on the slopes just really stuck out to me.
They market the hospitals really well. They're like sports medicine centers, and they're very well equipped to deal with ski-related injuries.
It's probably a really good industry to be in now is sports medicine in China.
Yep.
So head on over to the New Yorker if you want to read that article. Like Bob said, it's pretty long, but it is a pretty entertaining read. And with that, we're on to our edits of the week. Only a couple edits this week. So first we have, it's like a 8 or 9 minute YouTube video, pretty sure that's the length, of climbing to the summit of Mount Hood, which I enjoyed watching because I'll be there in a few days.
Are you going to do it?
We are touring one day, but I certainly hope we're not like using crampons and ice axes. And like, if we are, I am not in good enough shape to be doing that at the elevation of Mount Hood. So I will. If that's the plan,
stuff.
I'll just stay down in the park and like slide some rails on their demo skis when no one's looking or something like that.
That'll be fine.
Just kidding, Fisher, maybe. And then the second edit of the week, this is a bike edit, but we got some highlights. It's like a little bit over a minute edit. Really just action-packed highlight video from the European Whip-Off Championship, which is part of the first Crankworx stop.
Is that the one where the guy like lands sideways?
Yeah, did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Cade, pretty sure that was Cade, landed sideways. Pretty committed to that whip. I just didn't get it to come back the other direction.
No, whenever I land sideways, it's not on purpose.
But I know you did some laps of our local flow jump trail this morning. How were your whips?
Not that good. It feels like you're 12 feet in the air, but it's probably like that.
I know exactly what you mean. I have had that feeling on a bike and then seen the picture and been like, oh,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And yeah, that's Top 5 Fridays this week. Thanks for joining us as always. I will do my best to bring back some exciting skiing footage and news from Mount Hood. And yeah, keep an eye out for me if you're in that region. And Bob, anything to end with?
No. Have a great week.
Great. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.